morning, and thank you for keeping it Citizen Television Daybreak. It is. We are so glad that you created time for us this Tuesday. Like we always do it, Tuesday is a social day, and we usually take time just to talk about how you can be better in your relationship, in your friendship, and even as a person. And this particular Tuesday, it's no different. And we want to talk about something really interesting. Ever heard the words, "I am sorry, I know I hurt you, and tell me what I can do to make it up to you"? I mean, I couldn't even just say it because sijakosea mtu, but ningekuwa nimekosea mtu ingetoka na hiyo tone, hiyo tone. Lakini I want us to talk about a perfect apology and the best way to go about it. And we will twist it a little bit because we are talking about gifting and apologizing. What should draw the line? And do we have cases or instances whereby people ought to wanna abuse your story ya gift mtu just to cover up for what they've done? And we want to talk about that. As we do this, we invite you to be a part of the program. We will be letting you in on what we are discussing, but allow me to welcome my panel in studio this morning. Si wageni, they always, kila mtu hapa. By the way, I have gotten a lot of feedback from the audience. Each and every person identifies with you guys as individuals and what you share on the show. And I was just sharing with Bobby a few things about what somebody said about what she shared last week. And I have amazing feedback on what also CJ usually shares on the show and how he gives us the voice of reason. Cutie anakuanga ule mtu anasemanga vile iko kwa ground. He doesn't sugarcoat. And it's always exciting to be sitting with you each and every week, just to be able to empower the populace.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
When was the last time you heard those words I began with? Like, what's like the best apology ushaipata, Cutie?
Nika bado naingojea. I'm still waiting for it. Bado sijapata yenye nataka.
Does it mean hujaikosewa?
Nimekosewa, but apology na kujanga si sorry bas. Hiyo si apology. Unajua si sorry bas is not an apology. Ati si sorry bas. But hiyo ndio kitu yenye siku hizi tunaitumia kama apology. Unamwambia mtu kama nilikukosea, si kama ulikosea. So you need to properly apologize to someone, and it really means a lot when someone apologizes to you, Uwezi anza tu uambie mse, acha hizo. Kwa nini nilikukosea? Sasa mbona unakata? Mbona unakasirika? Sasa hiyo ni kitu ya kukujamisha. We take these things lightly, but huo mse kitu apology upatia mtu closure most of the time. Utapata apology goes a long way. Wacha nata na story ya gift. Heri ukose kuni gift but uniambie pole, imagine. Cause gift si apology. Gift ni ku cover up for that. Cause mtu akikupatia hiyo gift, awejua tu hiyo si apology. Gift ingine itakam, ingine ikam. But apology, like really apologizing and saying, you know what, I really nimekukosea, yani from the deepest part of my heart, najua niliblanda and I'm really sorry about it. Yani if you own up to your mistakes, I think that's the best apology. Hapo nilifanya mistake.
Na hujaipata that kind of apology?
Ijakam. Tunaingoja. Maybe next year itakam.
Roberta, do you have that moment that you remember? Like, what's the best somebody has ever done that made you feel like they're really remorseful now, wameelewa that they hurt you by what they did?
That's a really nice question.
Yeah.
Because at first I was going to answer it as what they did for me. But then I realized apologies and forgiveness are all about the person. Like, how are they showing up for me when they want to make this apology, and how are they showing up for themselves? So I think the best apology ever is like intentional changed behavior. Like someone took what they said, the words they had for me, they showed remorse. I told you guys, I need to see remorse, penance. Iyo gift ni ya kunilegeza nikwe a bit easier for the apology. And then when the apology comes, I'm ready to accept it. So mi nataka zote, nataka gift, nataka apology, nataka. But what I need the most is I need to see the remorse. I need to see the penance. Because even the type of gift they get you, if they decide to, says a lot about how they feel. Someone could take you to Paris and maybe you just wanted quality time. You just wanted them to change their behavior because they don't give you quality time. So you want, and then they send you off on a trip which will make you more lonely because they're not even going with you. It's a nice gesture. It's an expensive gift, but have they understood why I wanted an apology? Do they see where my issues are coming from with them? Do they want to fix it? Do they want to change their behavior? Because ultimately it's for them. hata mimi nikijitoa kwa hii relationship, they have to be whole in themselves and they have to be able to be a person who apologizes and seeks forgiveness or forgives as well. So it's not more of what they can do for me, but it's who they are as a person. I feel like the place I am right now with myself, I'd be able to see, is this coming from a place of remorse or is it a sour bus kind of apology? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. CJ, what's like the ideal? I'm not even quite sure I got it, you know, by the words I used. What's like the perfect apology? What are some of the fundamental elements that somebody should consider in the event that they want to really apologize to someone? And you can, you know, talk about this trend that we are seeing. You find somebody buying you very expensive gifts, things that you, ningumu kukata, like this person has studied you and they know what you love and they will go for the exact thing that they know is really hard to say no to. That's their way of saying sorry. How others interpret it is that they really care, that they bought me this thing and it shows that they are sorry. Is it?
Let me begin with that thing of the gift that you cannot say no to. A lot of times when we have conversations, I expected Roberta to bring up that because that is usually her forte, about the thing of knowing your self-worth. Yeah. And the thing would be, what would match your self-worth? Is it a car? Is it a house? Is that how you would, if you're in a barter trade, is that what you would value your life and your peace and your worth for? So if all your worth is a car, then you should know this person will never treat you better than that. There has got to be a place where you value yourself above material things. Yeah. There's nothing material and there's no amount of money that is worth who you are. Absolutely. You should be so strong that you can walk away from anything. It doesn't matter how much you love those things. You should be so strong and have so much value in yourself and knowledge of yourself that you can say no to the thing that you need the most. Just because at that particular point, you are trying to state your respect. You're drawing the boundaries and saying, I may love that, but I value myself higher than that. And you can't buy me with that. I want you to appreciate me and know me and treat me with respect as a person. So I think bringing ourselves to that place then makes us susceptible to abuse, because then somebody knows that Safin cannot say no to this. And any time they do something, then they will just do that. They will buy you at the price of the gift that you cannot reject, which really lowers you and cheapens you. Sometimes to raise your price, you gotta say no. Talking about the apology, I don't know whether there's a perfect apology, but an apology should have, as we've said, remorse. The person should take a sense of ownership, like, I have wronged you. It's not supposed to be, if you feel I have wronged you. That's not an apology, because it means that they have not seen the wrong that they have done. They are only doing that because they think you are offended, but according to them, there is no reason for you to be offended. So for there to be remorse, there has got to be empathy. Right. I've got to sit where you're sitting and look at things from your view and actually see that I may have hurt you. And you see, when it comes to matters of what hurts me, it may look small to you, but if it hurts me, then it is important. It hurts me. You cannot diminish what hurts me and feel that is too small. Why is that thing hurting you? You know, and that's why some people never really give a proper apology. So they'll give a blanket apology because they think that's a small thing, cutie, you know. But it meant a lot to you. And if it means a lot to the other person, you got to put yourself there, see it from their point of view, then you will know why it hurts them. So I have got to put myself there and take ownership. 2, I've got to be completely responsible for that. And I will say, I am sorry I did this. Not even I am sorry you are hurt. I am sorry I did this.
So you have to acknowledge your wrongdoing.
You've got
Bring
to
yourself into that mistake and say, I am fully responsible.
I am sorry.
And I am sorry
did
for
this, and I did this. And I did not know that it would affect you in this manner or something, because sometimes maybe somebody did something and they really did not know, but they've got to take responsibility for their action. They can't just throw it on the victim. So I've got to be sorry for what I have done, for the role I've played. I've got to acknowledge it and be literally truthful about that. Like, I honestly feel bad that I have hurt somebody who either looks up to me or somebody that I love or somebody who loves me. I've got to feel that. Then when we have done that, no justification. No justification, no nothing like, but it's because you did one.
All right.
Oh, you made me. All right.
Can I just
go ahead.
onto that? I love everything CJ is saying, because something we don't do is we like to remove ourselves from the situation, but you need to understand that by the time someone has the courage to even walk up to you and say, Safin, you hurt my feelings, it means they want to fix the situation. Like, it means they care enough, because they had the option to just ignore you or block you or stop any type of communication. But if someone, like the kind of relationship I have with CJ, by the time I go to him and I tell him, CJ, I don't like the way you spoke to me, it's not his place to start at, you know, I said it because even you know, like, no, it's just whether he hurt me intentionally or without even knowing, it's just his job to sit in it and be like, okay, Bobby, how do you feel? What did I do? How can I make it better? And then I explain it to him. He has to be very willing to listen. And this is because of, remember, the kind of relationship we have, like the kind of friendship we have. So by the time Namwendea, I don't think he has any thought of, Bobby, anakuanga na drama, anataka tu to fight. Unaona, it's coming from, he should always see it from, Bobby actually cares about this relationship enough to come to me and talk to me. So I think we need to, if you see someone making these changes within themselves, having the courage to come and talk to you, because it's very difficult to come to someone and say, yo, cutie, the way you did it's very difficult. And the inverse is also very difficult. Having to sit and listen to someone tell you how you hurt them or how something you did hurt them, but then it's through these conversations that we become better. The more you learn how to talk, the more they learn how to receive.
All right. There's something you said there about, reach out to this person and tell them that they hurt you. And I want to open that a little bit for discussion, because most of the time we assume that this person will know they hurt me. So unajua that silent treatment, like
kwanza unakasirika, unamwona akipiga malap na kuongeleshi.
Unajam.
Yeah, if you had, like, how do you do, what do you need to do? I want you to speak more about what you said, reaching out, because most of the time feel this person is supposed to know.
No, yeah.
Unanyamaza hata 10 days ukingoja. Why are they not apologizing? Why are they not seeing that they hurt me? Yeah?
There's something called the spotlight effect, where all of us subconsciously go through life without some sort of awareness, where we think everyone is thinking about me. It's like, say nikirarua trouser hapa, nitaanza kukua insecure, like, Safin can see, and Saizo, Safin has her own issues, Cutie has her own issues. Nobody is thinking about the hole in my pants. But the one who's really bothered or who really cares will come and tell me, Bobby, pants zako zime? So everyone else is minding their own business. So we need to stop projecting or thinking like everyone else is thinking about us or everyone else can see what we're feeling. It doesn't hurt to take an extra step to work on yourself, to just know that it's okay to communicate. Even if it's your husband and he's been with you for 20 years and he knows you and you're like, he should know, just tell him. It doesn't take anything away from it. It doesn't hurt you. It's not retrogressive. If anything, you're helping the situation. Because sometimes people just have a lot going on for themselves in their own life. And it doesn't mean that everyone else is focused on you and they're thinking about you and your issues. And yes, I know, mtu akikosea, it would be better if on their own they saw it and they came and apologized. But as the person who's the victim, please don't be scared to speak up. Don't be scared to say. And I keep saying these things because I know how difficult it is. I've been on both ends. I've been the one who's hurt someone and had to live. I always say this, my little brother calls me out a lot. He'll tell me, I don't like the way you did this, I don't. And at first, I used to get defensive because it's difficult. What do you mean? You're younger than me. What do you know? How can you try to tell me, Ati, what? But the way, even his delivery, the way he talks to me, his tone, the way he approaches me, I learned how to, inaweza kwa sikufanya nikitaka kumkosea, ama hata sikukuwa na rada like nikimkosea. It's just something I did in passing and then kumbe it affected him. So now I don't get defensive. Whatever he says I did, I take it.
You take responsibility.
I take it and I listen and I'm like, okay, fine. I don't even start saying, unajua sikufanya nikiju. No,
Trying to
I just say it's okay. I've heard you. thank you so much for having the courage to be able to talk to me, because I know it's not easy, and I'll see what I can do. Or kama na need space ndo nianze kuinternalize kwanza nikasirike ama whatever feelings I'll be feeling, then later we'll circle back and I'll be able to tell him. And something I love about having these conversations is how you realize how easy you solve issues. You know, when you're angry or annoyed, you think but you realize when you have the courage to just speak about things, it solves things so easily. It makes communication so easy, and not just in this one area. It makes talking about everything so easy.
All right.
Yeah.
Cutie, why is it so hard for some people to say sorry? Sitataja majina, but we live in a society where watu wengine wako na roho chuma, like I don't know whether tangu wazaliwa washaisema sorry. Why is it so hard for some people to say sorry?
You know,
from your perspective?
I love this song by Taras Riley that says, sorry is a sorry word in itself, you know. He says that sorry is a sorry word in itself because sometimes it could be about someone's personality. Sometimes it could be about the ego, you know. Yani kabisa, you know, like umekosea mtu, but your ego cannot let you, your personality cannot let you apologize. And it's supposed to be, they say, the apology should be louder than the disrespect, because you've already disrespected someone. And you know, sometimes in relationships, Safin, you will find that you've already told someone what you don't like. Ushamwambia, like, I don't like you doing this. But they keep on repeating the same thing. So you find that this apology, it keeps on coming. Atafanya, then atasema pole. I'm really sorry about it. But when you take steps backward, you'll just be like, he does the same thing. All the time, it's about the same thing. It's about the same thing. And that's why it also brings the issue of maybe violence in a relationship. You could find that someone is hitting you. They will hit you today. You allow it. And they say sorry. You're like, okay, it's the first time. They will do it again because you have allowed it. Atakwambia pole. Then they will do it again. Then atakwambia pole. So it now becomes a bad habit. It becomes like,
there's a place in the... Wanasema mara saba...
Yes.
You can help me there. Seven times what time?
Unasalimia mtu kwa Bible unafaa kusamehea mtu.
Anakusamea, so atasema unafaa kumsamea.
So sometimes it's the way you allow someone to treat you. If you allow the disrespect, it's the way you treat yourself. So if I disrespect myself, this person is going to disrespect me. So sometimes it's a habit because you allow it. So this person hits you over and over again na unamsamehea. So yeye ataona ni kama nilifanya hiki kitu last time na nikambuy gift. Sinilimbuy gari nikamwambia pole na akakubali, nilimlipia trip akakubali na akaenda. So you see, Safin, it kind of becomes a habit. And then again, sometimes because of your personality, you don't have empathy. You don't really put yourself, if you put yourself in someone's shoes, then you can never do what you did to them, because that person will be like, I can never do that to you. So why are you doing that to me, you know? And then the person is like, so you need to treat yourself with respect. You need to disallow some things in your life, because if watu wataka wakijua, by the way, Cutie apendagi kushautiwa, usicross your line. Wewe fanya anything you need to, but don't cross that line. But ukiacha watu wa cross your line, like ukiacha watu wa kutembele kama carpet, Safin, they're gonna do it because they'll be like, but si udem ni mpole. They actually take advantage and say, this chica is just like, she's always cool, she's always, and people take advantage of the good, of your good actually. So sometimes they say, don't take my kindness for weakness, you know. But most times you find that people take that kindness for weakness, because sometimes people take your good aspects to be a sign of weakness. And that's why you will find that most women, utawakosea, they will stay in that relationship over and over again. But the day they decide, by the way, I'm so done, they won't even hatakwambia. And then I just wanted to add on the silent treatment that you were talking about. You might be with someone and then amekukosea. Na anajua kabisa amekukosea, but they want to give you a silent treatment. You're not talking to each other. Anatoka anaenda job, unatoka unaenda job, mnarudi jioni. You're not talking to each other because you are waiting for the apology and they are waiting for you to make that move. So there are those people like anajua amekukosea, but they want you to make the first move. So sometimes silent treatment inakuanga a very big deal in a relationship, mostly because you're waiting for that person. Umezoea, wendo umekosea, but you always know I'm the one who will come and say, okay, Safin, enye jana ulinikosea. You're waiting for that icebreaker and that one move. So also silent treatment plays a very big role in people not apologizing.
It's another tool that we'll talk about one of these days, hopefully. But CJ, talk to that person who is in a relationship and there's that constant, what Cutie is describing, abuse of the gifting as apology. We've seen this even in the public domain. Mtu anachapwa vibaya sana, ama somebody is a cheat, you know, vibaya sana, but every time ni kama mnarudiana just because of the gifts that they keep buying. Is it okay for somebody to stay in that kind of a relationship?
Well, I don't know.
Because if you talk to them, they'll find very many reasons to justify. You know, he's nice, she's good, and they keep staying. Is it right? You
see, there are many factors to that, including the trauma bonding. But then again, we would ask ourselves, why do they even bond like that? It could be that this is what they have perceived love to be. I think sometimes, let me divert a bit, digress, and then come back. Sometimes we assume that just because somebody has a degree or has a good job or something, they developed emotionally. And we'll be asking ourselves, how could somebody like Safin, who is a host on TV, fall in love with this? But you see, TV is what you do. That's not who you are.
Exactly.
And you have built your skills for your job, but sometimes you have not built yourself and you have not healed emotionally from the traumas that you have had. So when you find somebody who knows how to touch that little girl in you, who is needy and whose will has been subdued, then that person will get you. And it becomes very easy then to abuse you. So people will be thinking, we cannot reconcile between the public figure that we see and the person who is undergoing this abuse. Because the abuser has gotten to a place that most people do not. They've gotten to the little inner child in you. Most people stay in there because they never really dealt with their inner child. They didn't deal with things from the past. The neediness that they have, the loneliness, low self-esteem is the biggest factor right there. Because if you don't think there's anything better out there, you stay where you are. The most compelling force that would make you move from where you are is to believe that there's something better and something greater. When you don't think there's anything better elsewhere, you will stay. Now, you look at the patterns of the abusers, they will make you feel like there's no other life out there for you. They are everything that you ever wanted. In fact, they are more than you ever deserve. So they will put that in your head. They'll put that in your head. That's why I started by saying those gifts are a problem, because somebody will tell you, if you leave me, who will ever buy you a car? Who will give you the kind of life that I gave you? Who will do this? And a lot of times as well, they know how to manipulate the family. So they will be sending a lot of money to your mother. They'll be bribing your drunkard father. So the guy is so drunk, he just thinks about his bottles and he says, well, you know, marriage has issues, but just stay there because of the benefit. So all of these guys are bribed completely. So the low self-esteem that you have, and then a support system that is easy to bribe and manipulate because they feel that they are getting some benefits over there. So everybody works against your will to subdue you to the place where you receive less. You have to begin to think about yourself like, even if I'm not going to another relationship, what do I deserve as a person? Who am I? You have to work on yourself and work through yourself and bring yourself to the place where you feel, even if nobody else ever comes into your life, you are better. You're better off as a better person. Otherwise, you keep staying there. I love using the analogy of how, you know, the elephants would be made to perform in the zoo. All you need to do is to break their will. You chain them to certain poles that make their movement very difficult. So after a while, that elephant will believe it cannot move because it will be trying to move, but it can't move. It tries to move, it can't move. Then after a while, the mind tells it it cannot move. So when you remove the chain, it will stay there because the will is broken. So most of these people who stay in this kind of relationships, their wills were broken. And sometimes it's broken so badly that when you point it out from the outside, you become the enemy. But I think that anyone who is in that kind of a relationship needs to seek help. They need to seek help from somebody. They need to rebuild themselves. Because what happens if this abuser of yours dies or something, you still will be left in a place where you actually need to work on yourself. So I think that they need to seek help.
But what about situations whereby they make you feel that you're actually responsible for whatever is happening? Because they'll constantly say, you complain about me coming home late, but I always try to provide for the family. I've bought you this, I've done this for you, I've taken you to school, and they will list all those things they've done for you. And you only complain for my coming home late?
You see, you've got to really be... You need to watch out for people who never take responsibility for anything.
Yes.
That's a huge red flag. Yes. People who will keep on feeling like you are the reason they do what they do, because they also have a choice. You could be very offensive to me, but I have the choice of how to respond to your offenses. So I cannot keep on saying, you have made me do this. That's why when I was talking about the apology, I said, don't say, but you did this to me. I have a responsibility and I have a choice to respond differently. You could have provoked me and I decide to ignore that. You could have denied me food and I still decide I'll come home and I'll fix the food or something. So for anyone to remove themselves from the place of responsibility, it takes two to tango. If anyone removes themselves and say, I'm doing this because you are doing that and you are doing that, I'm going out with these ladies because you are not treating me well, so where's the place of the personal choice? If this person was not in your life, what would you do? Aren't there certain personal boundaries, beliefs, standards? Aren't there certain things that you just say, I will not do this, I cannot do that? So it is a very manipulative tool. But the people who are manipulated have the propensity to be manipulated as well, because they're very needy. They're very needy emotionally. And that's why I talk about the element of the therapy and seeking help. They may not even realize that they're very needy. And this person studies you and they know you're needy emotionally. And because of their weakness, when they find somebody who is strong, you know, like the tendril plant that will coil itself. So their strength is by coiling around this person. So they don't see it as abuse. They see this as the trunk of a tree that they coil around. And the person will keep on reminding you, if I get off, you go into the floor.
You are nobody.
So they don't believe they can stand up straight. But you see, there are many ways of making the tendril stand by itself. You can actually tie it up to something so that it doesn't have to coil on a tree. You can tie it up to something else. And so probably if I am being abused, I need to find something else to tie myself to until I grow myself. And human beings are not necessarily like tendrils, because you can keep growing that strength. The way we say, you know, you learn how to communicate, you learn how to show up for yourself. The more you do that, the stronger you become. You make decisions for yourself. You push yourself to doing things by yourself and for yourself so that you move away. Listen, even if you're not with an abuser, it is dangerous to over-depend on anybody.
Just to add on that, I wanted to talk about that behavior. You know, when a person is a narcissist, they love to play the victim. A narcissist loves to play the victim and they love to manipulate you. So just to add on what CJ has said, you always feel like you're dependent on them. I cannot do without this person. If I leave this person, where will I go? What will I do? How will I start all this? You know, you become dependent on someone in a way that you can never, you feel like, yani nikiachana na mse ndakufa, unajua. But what you don't know is that once you leave that person, your life actually starts, you start glowing, you start blooming, you start becoming better. But because this person has manipulated you, they're a narcissist, they've made you believe that you cannot do without them. So you kind of become addictive to that abuse. By the way, it's sad to say, but people like become addicted to the pain, to the abuse. You reach a point whereby you feel like nispo abusiwa sipendwi, you know, you become so, this is the normal. So when you go to another relationship, when someone starts loving you, giving you the care, you're like, no, this relationship is not right. And you know, that's what most people suffer from, emotional damage, you know. We say it like a meme or like a joke, emotional damage, but it actually happens that when someone starts abusing you and treating you bad, so when you go to another relationship, you even start start questioning yourself. Unamuuliza, mbona unanipenda hivi? Mbona unanifanyia hizi vitu zote? You know, you
what
just,
are you hiding?
What are you hiding?
Love
Something
is too
is
much.
wrong with No, love is painful, you know. Love is not a beautiful thing. You start becoming traumatized. You start thinking about, but umse anafaa kwa kinipiga. Unaona? Umse anafaa kwa kicheat. Hakuna boy mwenye haizi cheat on me. You see? So it takes time for you to actually heal before you move on to the next relationship, because this narcissist has made you believe certain things. Yani mpaka wewe mwenyewe ukitoka hapo you're like, hapana, hii relationship is
and that's why
true.
CJ and even you know, Roberta saying, constantly say, work on yourself.
Yes.
Know your self-worth. Because if you're in that kind of a relationship as well, when two people are in a relationship, I want to believe it should be, what are you bringing in as well? Don't be in a relationship where you feel like you're just on the receiving end. This person is everything to you. They do everything. Hata wewe kidogo, you're being selfish. Because if you're constantly just receiving and receiving, then that's a problem. I want us to take a few messages that we have received from you. Remember, this discussion is not just about us, but also what you think. So we are talking about apologies and gifting and what draws the line and the perfect apology that you have ever received. And this is what you're saying as part of the feedback that you're sharing with us this morning. 22422 is our SMS line. And we have one there saying, nowadays people think apologizing is a big deal, but saying sorry to someone you have wronged makes you strong and feel free. Okay, we have one there saying, I have a bestie who always goes silent, nikimkosea, and I wait wait for me to apologize, which which I always do, but Pia, when she wrongs me, she always has to justify why she did what she did, and it is becoming a little draining, and it is also so hard to get her to apologize. What should I do? Mumbi, thank you for that. We have one there saying, hizi gift hupea mse ujeuri. All right. We have Andrew saying, most men apologize for this. They aren't aware, for things they aren't aware, and to make it worse, women don't let us know what we did wrong and wait until we figure it out on ourselves, what we did. Let a man know what he's done wrong immediately, and you'll get a proper apology. Yeah, let him know, let him know. A perfect apology is remorse. My baby daddy would hurt me today, apologize the next day, wait for a few days and abuse me verbally, bragging proudly how he hurt me frequently, where I had to cut him off completely. All right. All right, so that's what you're saying, and we appreciate your feedback. And there's one question, anyone can jump onto this. Mumbi anauliza, like, what do they do in a relationship where yeye na bestie wake, it's constantly very hard for the friend to apologize, and, you know, she wants to know how to deal with that, Cutie?
I think the way we're saying that, you should know your value. I always say, know your value and add tax on it. Don't let someone treat you any less than you think you are, because, Safin, you are exactly who you think you are. Yeah. Don't let someone come and wash that down just because they don't value you. So situation kama hiyo, make sure that you approach this person. Tell them. Usiwahi ogopa ku approach mtu, whether it's your dad, your mom, your sister, your brother, anyone. It could be anyone, even your colleague. Just go and tell them, niaje, by the way, jana uliniko ulifanya hivi na hivi. You will have opened your heart out to them. So if they feel like they haven't done you wrong, well and good, but you've already told them. Like I come and tell you, like, Safin, by the way, jana ulifanya hivi na hivi ulinikosea. Just open up to them and tell them, because ukinyamaza, because I've seen also another feedback that men apologize for things that they don't know, because sometimes women umekasirikia mtu, umefuria mtu a whole week and you've not told them what they've done. Unexpect atajua aje, but just tell that someone. But you see, sometimes women are afraid of, if I tell him what he did, he will continue doing it again and again. Now it becomes a habit. So that's why sometimes people tend to keep quiet, because I feel like I told you this already, but you're still doing it. So sometimes women tend to like kunyamaza juu. You already know what you did, but you just want me to tell you again. Then you make fun out of it, and then you will apologize, then do the same mistake. So sometimes that's why you find women, they keep quiet about it, because they're like, I've told you this a million times. So when she's coming out to you, she'll be like, I've told you a million times, stop cheating on me, but you keep on cheating on me. You see, so it becomes becomes a behavior that goes on and on. So that's why sometimes you find people tend to like, ni sawa tu, nishamzoea. But you see, that's a bad thing for you, because ukiendelea kuzoea hapo, ataendelea kufanya hivyo. So if you see that someone is not like changing their behaviors, as Roberta said, like the best apology is changed behavior. So if you find that someone is not changing their behavior, imagine it's time to bounce and walk away from that.
I think actually the apology begins soon after they have apologized. Now how they are going to make it right is actually the real apology. We are just about to wind up. 1 minute each for your parting shot. I'll start with you, Roberta. This gift, you said you appreciate a little gift, apology,
big
but
gift. Not little.
Okay.
Big.
You appreciate. You said you would appreciate if a gift accompanies the apology. But how should it be presented? The best way, the right way that you'd really feel that it actually serves the purpose that it should as we wind up.
I always say that I'm so grateful for the circles I'm in, because I'm very intentional about the people I hang around. So everyone around me is just kind of like me or better than me, which is really, really good. And I'm so big on gift giving, especially if I feel like it'll help the situation if it's better. So I know all my friends and how they are and what they like, and they also know me like that. So it makes it easier. There's no point where I'm around someone who gives me a gift and then I feel like, hey, your gift, inatoka. But that's because I work on myself. Everything QT and CJ said is so important. It might look like, but it's so difficult, but it's so necessary as well. The more you work on yourself and you have standards and you're very strict with what you allow, then everyone else conforms. And just to finish up, the biggest form of love in any sort of relationship that you want to prosper is consideration. Whether there is understanding or not, that's fine, we can get there later. But consideration in that, ukienda Kenya tu nilisema, ukienda kuambia mtu venye una feel, first response yao haifai kwa defense. It's not supposed to be, but I apologized last time, but it's me who always apologizes, but it's just let go of the ego, let go of all those things. Just be more considerate. If someone comes to you, understand that they really want to fix the relationship and they care enough to. And if you feel hurt as well, extend your grace and your consideration to the next person. Think, you know, maybe they're just not thinking they hurt me. It could be anything, but if you consider each other all the time, it makes it easier for you to make decisions. So just to reiterate everything everyone said, work on yourself and love yourself so that you're able to show up for everyone else. All right.
Very quickly, CJ, I'm actually pressed for time.
Well, you know, the element of self-value and self-worth is just the key around this. There's these Indian shops you go to and you want to buy stuff, and no matter how much you negotiate, they will calmly refuse. And even if you want to walk out, they'll let you walk out because they know that you'll not find what they have or you'll not find a better price. I think in relationships we need to come there where you are so sure of what you have that if somebody has to walk out, it's fine. You're not going to fight about it. You're not going to quarrel about it. You're not going to beg them. It's fine. Let them go out there. Normally, generally, people come back to the same Indian. Now, and so I think you need to understand what you have and what you bring into life so that you're not easy to manipulate and your prize remains your prize. All right, great, CJ. Atemo, we were also having this sit down with the QT herself. Watakuwa kwa show after this. Let me say happy birthday to my dad. It's my dad's birthday. So happy birthday, Mr. Njosh, and I love you so much. Nikitoka hapa naenda Radio Citizen, so tune in for some good reggae. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's so sweet. Roberta, also, thank you all for creating time, and thank you for watching. We do this each and every Tuesday, so next week, Tuko Hapa, do join us for that. My name is Safina Chengoma. Thank you, and have a good day.